Hi guys, welcome to Mark Bayerski Crystals channel. It's a beautiful day to talk about, well, one crystal. This is pink Chalcedony. Isn't it gorgeous? It's one of those crystals that many people used to receive from me over the years and say, oh, it's broken. No, it's just the way it is. It's naturally, looks like it's cracked almost here and there, but that's how it comes. I'm going to show you a few pieces here. There you go. Looks like it's cracked, right? It's not. That's how it comes. It's very unusual, very, very beautiful formation inside. Look. You see if I turn it gently. Beautiful and very, very, very delicate energy to it as well. I was thinking about this crystal because I haven't had any for some while. Must be over 4 years now. And when I found out, a friend of mine said, oh, he's got a few choice pieces, I went, great, send them. It's been a while. I was thinking back to the time when I was working on this lady who you would think she was okay. And she was lying down and yeah, but something didn't feel quite right. And she was, to look at, great energy. Went into deep meditation, fell asleep. Something just didn't feel quite right. In my room, there were hanging crystals everywhere, and I was pulled to this beautiful crystal. And I started rubbing it just gently on her heart, just slightly above her heart here, just like there, just gently like that. And I could feel something within myself. It was really weird. And I couldn't explain what it was, but I felt a very, very strong reaction inside my body, my gut. And it was like something feels really, almost like if you've ever had the reaction of indigestion. That's what it was like. And it was like I could feel acid in my stomach, and it was like overactive. And you know when you've got that taste of, it sounds awfulish, but sick, that comes to your throat and it burns? Well, that's what I was feeling when I was working on this lady. When I'd finished after an hour, she got up and I said, I'd really love to gift you this crystal. And she was very, very happy. And I said, how do you feel in general? She said, yeah, I feel fine. I said, I don't know what it is, but I kind of felt a bit weird inside, you know, just in my tummy and like, there's something just a little bit out, but I said, but just keep an eye on that. She left, and then maybe about 6 weeks later, I got a phone call from her, and I went for a coffee, met her down at where I normally used to meet people down, just to get away from this village, just to have a little bit of breathing space, because sometimes living in a mountain top, you get cabin fever. So we met down at Centro Idea at that time, when there was a lovely little restaurant in a corner. Well, it wasn't a restaurant, it was like a tapas bar owned by a Danish lady, and people used to come from all over and just sit and have a nice tapas. We sat and talked, and she said, do you remember the crystal that you gifted me? And I said, no. And then she took it and she showed me. She said, about 2 weeks after wearing it, and I wore it all the time, she said, something very strange happened. And I said, what was that? She said, I got a reaction to the crystal. And I went, what do you mean a reaction? She said, physical reaction. And I said, like what? She said, right here where I wore it, I got a red, almost like a red, what's the word? It wasn't a scar, but it was just, it went like a raw looking colour, and it started itching. And it was exactly where the crystal was. And I got a little bit nervous, and I said, I've never heard a crystal do that before. And I said, but that's interesting, and I'm really sorry. Do you want me to take it away and I'll replace it with something else and I'll find out about this crystal? She says, no, the odd thing is, Mark, I took the crystal off, and like you thought, I thought, oh, there's something wrong with this crystal. Maybe it's got something on it, or maybe, you know, she wasn't sure. But this redness, this rawness was getting worse. She went to a doctor's, a specialist who was a friend, and said, oh, let's take some tests. They took some blood tests and found out that something inside her stomach had eroded. Something had got in there, and a bacteria had started eroding in her stomach and was affecting her blood. The root cause of that was already inside, and if she would have carried on, it would have caused, I believe, a pancreas and other things to shut down. I've heard this before, but not in this way, in other stories. But the bottom line to this video, which is about this crystal, but the bottom line is that this crystal, as she eloquently put, if it wasn't for the crystal, she would have never have gone to the doctors, who was a friend of hers, who took blood tests, who then found whatever was happening, and they cured her very quickly. But there was a point that she said that if she would have continued without knowing, it could have been irreversible. That's what was told to her. This crystal, if I was to tell you, was one of my favorite crystals thereafter. And people used to say to me, why do you often get... I went through a spurt of gifting this crystal away to many people. You know why? Because I believed it was an indicator. It was a thermometer to show if people inside their physical body was any issues or problems. On 3 separate occasions, I was told that this crystal caused a reaction to somebody's skin. And I said to them, go and have a blood test. And on every single occasion, it came back that there was something in their blood which needed to be healed. There was some toxin or something. Happened 3 times. So that's just a story of this crystal. I'm going to talk to you about this crystal in a different way now, in a spiritual way. This crystal is definitely a crystal to help you connect to a higher spiritual self within you. It is a crystal to help you meditate. It's a crystal to help you find your inner peace and calmness. It's a crystal that helps you focus on the real reason why we're all here. It is a crystal that helps you not just focus on the idea of enlightenment, but it also guides you to the enlightenment. Meaning, I often saw clients who were lost. Then within a space of a few months wearing this, they knew exactly what they wanted to do. They were fixated on it, and they had a path, a goal, and an ambition. This crystal really helps you back on your spiritual path, 100%. It is a very unique energy. It's great to place on the third eye and do meditation. It's wonderful to sleep with. It's a great protection. A lot of people believe it brings forward the energy of spirit, but the energy of spirit, in my opinion, is always around, but it brings forward the energy of you recognizing spirit around you. Therefore, a lot of people make the mistake in thinking that you're protected by angels when, sorry, there's flies all over. You're actually always protected by our spirit family. Call them what you want, angels, spirit guides. They're still our protection and family in spirit. Therefore, this crystal heightens your awareness to the connection of the spirit world 100%. It helps you attune to things that could happen that you didn't know, meaning it is a crystal that helps awaken your third eye in the sense of attunement and psychic and future understandings. So it's almost a brilliant crystal if you're new to the world of spirituality and you want to connect to what is the spiritual work, the psychic work. It's a great starter crystal. It doesn't do any damage in the sense of pushes you too fast. It gently puts you on a loving and careful spiritual journey. Brings happiness, brings a lot of joy, brings a lot of comfort for whenever you feel the loss of a family member, not to the spirit world, but to another country. So if you've got a child who's moved away, if you had to separate from somebody, this is a wonderful crystal, because the point being with this crystal and how it helps is that we often separate our understanding of the spirit world and the spirit that is within a person. I say client, person. What that means is when you connect yourself to the feeling of the spirit world, you also connect yourself to the feeling of somebody who is a family member or a friend's spirit, not their physical, but their spirit. Therefore, you feel a stronger connection wherever they are, because there is no space and time in this world unless you believe there is. If you believe what your mind's limitations are, then you'll feel that, oh, my daughter's moved to Australia, or whatever it may be, and you'll feel that separation. By wearing this crystal, it makes you feel like you're connected and you feel them closely, so you don't feel that feeling of they're so far away and I won't see them for a long time. Therefore, this crystal is a great comfort crystal. It reassures you, it brings you comfort, and it also feels like you're being protected. But in truth, you protect yourself by awakening certain beautiful points within the spiritual body. It heightens your energy tremendously. So if you wear it, you'll feel stronger. It's a great indicator to help you always know that your physical body either needs help or it's okay. So if you wear it, it's a thermometer, but I've already explained it in those terms, but I'm only repeating what things I remember as I worked with it in the past. Wonderful for young girls between the age of like 7 and about 17. It works really well on anybody who's kind of like not just empathic, but I think the word sensitive always was something that I felt this was good for. It brings balance to your sensitivity, so it kind of takes away any worry and fear. Other things this crystal is good for, well, it's great relief from past trauma. I remember one lady who had a lot of trauma-based issues from being beaten by a boyfriend and then going to a new relationship and again being abused terribly. This crystal, once I placed it on her, gave her the strength to walk away from them relationships. She married a year after that to a lovely man, and unfortunately he passed away only 6 months after they were together, but she said it was the best 6 months of her life, and from then on she knew for the rest of her life who she would want to be with, and it was that 6 months of knowing the feeling of being respected, loved and taken care of. I haven't seen her since then, the time that her husband passed, but I probably would say without a shadow of a doubt, she's probably with somebody who is caring and loving, because she knew after those horrific moments of her life where she was abused, and those 6 months, those short 6 months, were the most beautiful 6 months of her life. She realized then how important it was to be respected and loved by your partner. Yoga. I know somebody who wears this who was amazing at yoga because she felt the energy, she felt strong energy, she felt she could do certain movements, and she felt connected to yoga. I think what that means is that a lot of the positions that people do in yoga have a spiritual meaning. Sometimes people just do yoga just to feel exercise, but I think she was very highly attuned to yoga when she was wearing this because she felt the connection to the movement. Anything else? I think that's it. Overall, it's a very, very positive crystal, and again, anxiety, stress, anything to do with fear, this crystal is definitely a crystal that will release that fear and that anxiety and make you feel stronger almost instantly. I would wear it in bed for sure, and I would definitely wear it on the heart, so I'd have the chain. So like what I'm wearing now is a little bit too high, it needs to be a bit lower, and the reason why is that when you're in bed you can flip it up and put it on your third eye and just try and fall asleep to that, or meditate with it, put music on and meditate with it. You'll find that this crystal opens up and does all the things that I say. It's a great, great, powerful crystal, and one that I should have talked about a long time ago, but for me it was hard to find. I don't have many. I only got a few pieces, and they'll be on the website soon, but they soon go. So try and get yourself a genuine piece. Sometimes people buy them thinking that they are that particular crystal, and they're not. So make sure you buy a genuine piece from a genuine, authentic dealer, and probably best to buy from your local crystal shop owner who knows exactly what they're buying. That's my suggestion to you. And of course, support your local crystal shop rather than Amazon and eBay and all those corrupt, horrible companies. Have a great day. Love you all. Thank you for going to markbayerski.com and buying your authentic crystals. And I hope you love working with them as much as I loved working with them too. Take care, guys. Love you all.